Hello, it is Bronwyn here with this week's Black Mental Health is Black Health. Well, we had some guests scheduled for tonight, and wouldn't you know it, 3 out of 3, life happened, and they're not going to be able to be here. So I'm pulling from my theater world roots and saying that the show must go on. So tonight we're going to talk about mental health and physical health because they're two sides of the same coin. There's definitely a relationship, and that's what the show is all about. Black mental health is black health, physical health, mental health. I say that all the time. So tonight, I am going to break it down. What does that really look like? What does that really mean? If you've been with us before, you know we start off with some deep cleansing breaths. So let's get to it. I'll count you into 4 very slowly, and I'll count you out to 4 very slowly. So you'll breathe in and breathe out for 3 wonderful cleansing breaths. Let's do it. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. One more. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. It's that woosah moment in the evening just to say, the day is over. I made it through. So after we've had that woosah moment, it's time to jump to it. So as I said, today we're going to be talking, it's just me, but we're going to talk a little about mental health and physical health. I always say health is health. I am not alone. The World Health Organization says this, that health is a state of complete physical and mental and social well being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. An important implication of this definition is that mental health is more than just the absence of a mental disorder or disability. It says physical and mental and social well being make up our health. Now, that's not me, that's the World Health Organization. And I think that definition is so important that you need it all. When you impact one, you impact the other. Another definition is that physical health is a state of your body, and mental health is a state of your mind, feelings, and emotions. Physical health can influence mental health both positively and negatively, and the inverse is true. Life experiences, work, school, relationship, the community you live in, places you shop, all of this can impact both your physical and mental well being. So, we're going to talk about that tonight. Here's an interesting statistic: nearly 1 in 3 people with long term physical conditions also have mental health problems, most commonly depression and anxiety. And let's think about it, it makes sense. Let me give you an oversimplified example of how your mental health and your physical health can be related. Let's say you have some kind of day. You wake up that morning and you're on time for work because you've got this meeting work, but you get on the freeway and there is this wreck that all lanes are closed. It is nothing you can do. You started out an hour early because you wanted to get there and get some things done, and you end up 30 minutes late and 15 minutes late for the meeting. So you're devastated and you miss something. And then so your boss calls you in needing to understand why you were late. You knew how important this was, and you had the first part of the presentation, and on and on and on. And yeah, it was traffic out of your control. Starting off your day, you're making it through your day, and man, that one thing set it off, and you were late for another appointment. And finally, you get home and you realize, oh, my child needs this for his school project, so let me run back to the store and get it. You run, you go get it, you get home. Oh, that project's not due for another 2 days. Now you're kind of upset because you wasted your time going back, and it's like, so much happened. So after that, you could be so tired and frustrated that maybe you get a headache because you just can't take the stress. Or maybe you reach for a glass of wine or 2 or 3 to manage your stress. So that bad day could have given you a headache, could have made you just so upset you couldn't eat. Both of those are impacting your physical health. Or if your manner of handling it is for that glass of wine, over the long term, that's not good for physical and mental health either. So it's an oversimplified way to say how one totally impacts the other. You have a mental health issue, physical health is going to do something as well. So, hmm, let's just look at some more things. Hopefully that explained this is how it really works together. And research shows it. It says that depression, here is some physical, because I want to talk tonight about some real physical things that happen. Research shows that depression, man, that can really relate to a lot of health issues, such as diabetes, heart disease, or stroke. Depression can impact all of those. When you're depressed, it can make those symptoms worse. Guess what? Having those diseases can also make the depression worse. If you have diabetes, for instance, you get tired and it just has you feeling some kind of way, you can get sick and tired of being sick and tired. That is a way that your mental health is impacted by the physical. Because I'm just tired of having diabetes. I'm tired of thinking what I have to eat. I'm tired of da 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 da. It can go on and on and on. And you get so tired of being in that state, it impacts your mood. And that's the health issues. Some chronic diseases can increase your the decline in your mental health. Like I said, you're so tired of it that I just don't want to do it anymore. And you become depressed because you're ill. So it's a back and forth. One impacts the other. Some other things about mental health and our physical is so many. Uh, Looking at people who live, let's say, in what some term a food desert. I know there is a lot of give and take about that term, but we're going to use it for now. And so some people don't have the opportunity to have proper nutrition easily at their fingertips. You know, you have a car and you can go out to different neighborhoods. Maybe you can shop healthy. Some people are not able to shop healthy in their neighborhood because it's not there. So that can impact your physical health because you're not putting into your body things that are healthy because they're not readily available to you. So that impacts your physical well being. And then some areas that are food deserts are lower income, and some are just more of a depressed environment. Some are not a safe environment. That can impact your mental well being because where you live might have a certain discomfort to it because it doesn't feel as safe. And if you're not feeling as safe and you can't get foods you need to help you eat safely, can't you see how that would negatively impact your physical well being? Hmm, your food desert and your well being, mental well being, yes, they go together. What about access to health care? Here in America, and this crosses socioeconomic lines, we have some of the most brilliant minds when it comes to medical science. But is everybody privy to it? So people with mental health conditions may have inadequate health care. And it may not be related to your finances. Maybe you have insurance, but oh, your insurance doesn't cover your mental health care. Or maybe you were able to get insurance, but your deductible is so high. Well, I'm not going because, my deductible is $5,000. I don't have 5,000. I got to pay that out of pocket before I can go. So I'll wait. But seriously, I've seen high deductibles, and it's like, oh, I don't know. It's just too high. So that impacts your health care, physical and mental, if you can't access the health care that's here. Like I said, we've got the best health care around, but you can't get to it. So if you can't take care of your physical well being and you have some issues going on where it can impact your mental well being, such as I said, diabetes, heart problems, and some of those things that impact both, it's only going to get worse if you don't have access to health care. What about chronic diseases? Now, depression, as I said earlier, can be linked to some, I forgot to mention some. It can be linked to asthma, cardiovascular disease, I said, and arthritis. Lord, once you reach a certain age, Uncle Arthur wants to come and be a part of your life, doesn't want to let go. And I like to look at just there's a physical aspect, physiological aspect of your brain chemistry and your body chemistry and what's going on, but there's just that logical part of the depression and these. So take arthritis, for instance. If you're a very active person and you used to moving and grooving and getting along and you could get up and go anywhere, and then Uncle Arthur, as I call arthritis, decides to become a part of your life and you try to get up and your knee says, "Where are you going?" Or you're trying to move and it's difficult to move, then your life and your quality of life could be impacted. And you have to work to overcome it. But if you don't, can't you see how that would be such a depressing thought? I'm used to being able to get up and go and just run, literally run, and I can't do that anymore. I used to be able to just get up and go where I wanted. I can get up and go, but it takes more time to do it because my get up and go, got up and went, as they say. And it's difficult to move. It's difficult to go from point A to point B. Oh, that's depressing. Now, there, like I said, there's a whole brain chemistry thing, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But all of these things are depressing. Um, Having cancer in and of itself, there are many people that overcome and they are victors over cancer and they're survivors, and there are many who are not. Now, here's an interesting thing I want to add about some of these chronic illnesses. It is not just a person with the chronic illness, it's family members as well. When a person has a chronic illness that they have to manage, it can impact their whole family. How? If it is a person with cancer who's going in and out of, let's say, chemo treatment or radiation, and for some people, it's very devastating what it does to their body. So you come home and maybe you're weak and someone has to take care of you, and your loved ones don't even mind, but they can hurt seeing you in that state. So that can impact their mental health, and they're more tired because they're taking care of you and taking care of you out of love and wouldn't have it any other way, but it wears you down. And it's hard to see someone you love suffer. So when they're going through that, it's difficult. Or if you're the parent of a child who's a chronic asthmatic and you're constantly having to take it, and some of them miss a lot of school because of it, that impacts your work if you have to go pick that child up. And impacting your work environment can impact your financial environment, can impact your mental health because it's like, I'm so tired of this. I didn't sign up for this. If you are a person who maybe your spouse, your loved one has heart disease, some type of cardiovascular disease, and you got to change your diet to change theirs, and you're more willing to change it than they are, that can cause some mental health issues in your life because you're so tired of dealing with it. An interesting fact about cancer and mental health, the mortality rate from cancer and heart disease is higher with people than depression than people without. So, meaning when they look at people who have cancer, people who have heart disease, those who are depressed have a higher death rate than those who are not. So, everybody who has cancer, everyone who has any of these chronic diseases, heart disease or any disease, you may not necessarily get depression. It's just a higher incidence. And for those who do have a higher incidence, they have a higher mortality rate because now you're fighting two battles. And one of them you're not really aware of. Yeah, you don't even realize, oh, is that a problem? I'm going to mention one or two more things before we got to get to some solutions. Um, Another thing, schizophrenia has been linked to higher risk of heart and respiratory diseases. I've read some cursory studies about that, and it's more anecdotal. You're looking at here is this issue, in this case, schizophrenia, and these are patterns you see in people with schizophrenia. Hmm. Sleep problems. Anybody out there have trouble sleeping? Sometimes you wake up at 3 in the morning and can't go back to sleep. Uh, And when you do get a good night's sleep, you're like, oh, I slept the whole night, and you feel so good. Well, people with sleep conditions, like insomnia or sleep apnea, can definitely have mental health conditions. One of the things is you're not getting adequate sleep and rest, and you're in a state of tired if you don't get enough sleep. You know, when you're constantly getting that 4 hours of sleep, and oh, I got 4.5 hours of sleep last night. That was good. I feel so good. Well, maybe your body is not getting the rest and sleep it needs. Maybe you can fall asleep, but you can't stay asleep. Again, you're not having the quality of sleep. That's hard for you. That's hard on your body. Think about it. If a person is sleep deprived, they don't need to drive. Driving, if you're totally sleep deprived, like, you haven't gone to sleep for 24 hours, 48 hours, and you get behind the wheel, that's the same as if someone were drinking and got behind the wheel. They will, they can show you and test how people have done that. So, not sleeping though, and chronically not sleeping over time, your brain is not functioning 100%. So, if you have a physical abnormality going on, your body needs rest. Our body heals nightly as we sleep. So, if you're not sleeping, you're not in a state of healing. So, yeah, we need that sleep to help us heal physically. If you're not sleeping, then mentally your brain is not doing what it needs to do and it's tired. It can't function. Some studies show that 50 to 80% of people with mental health issues also have sleeping problems. Whereas in the general population, only 10 to 18% of people have mental health problems. So you see, there is a relationship there. Two things I want to, two last ones before we get to the other side. Okay, now what do I do? Or a few more. Smoking. People with mental health conditions are more likely to smoke than those that are not. And this isn't saying that everybody who smokes has a mental health issue. It just says within the population of people who smoke, there is a high incident of mental health. Among smokers, people with mental health issues are more likely to smoke more cigarettes than those who don't. So you have a higher incidence of mental health within the smoking community, but those who smoke more may have more, um, may smoke more cigarettes. And so part of it is because smoking is used as a coping mechanism to manage maybe depression or anxiety. Um, it can increase dopamine levels in the brain, which is another positive feel good chemical in the brain. Nicotine can trigger that. However, it triggers it for a short amount of time. So I'm smoking and I feel better. It releases it. I'm calm. I feel good. But it's short lived. So what I need to do if I want that feeling again? Oh, I gotta go smoke again. So people with mental health issues who smoke more because of the feeling. It gives you that positive feeling. So look at one or two more. This one I found interesting, so I'll mention it. Psoriasis. Who knew? Psoriasis is a dermatological issue. It's your skin. It can be categorized by painful red sores on the skin or just patches on the skin. But guess what? It's associated with acute stress and depression. The more stressed you are, the more you may have an outbreak. So many illnesses. The stress you're under can increase it. Many people know about, your blood pressure goes up when you're stressed. They know that. But so many things you wouldn't think of psoriasis. People who have chronic headaches, they can be increased. So all of these things, man, it just messes you up. Wow. So now what? I've talked a lot about this is a lot of the bad stuff. So what do we do? So because researchers do say that for patients with heart disease, depression is an independent determinant of health-related quality of life. Depression can negatively impact the quality of your life, especially if there's some physical health issue going on. So I could go on and on and on about all the research I looked at about, man, It's really related, but I hope you get it. That the quality of your life can totally be impacted by your mental health. It is such a relationship, study after study. So, what can you do to impact both of them? I'm gonna start with the easy one. Easy to say, much more difficult to do. Regular exercise. And when you say regular exercise, it's like, oh Lord, I'm not going to the gym. I don't have time. That's too much. Oh, I can't do it. Regular exercise can mean a daily 10-minute walk. Just doing that can increase your mental health. If you are increasing your mental health, there are a lot of benefits to extra walking. There is a thing that I did a show about the concept of sitting is the new smoking. We become a more sedentary society. And since COVID, we're even more sedentary because so many people are working from home. And it's easy to get caught up. You just sit there and you work, 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 and you don't get up. Uh, but if you can do that 10-minute walk a day, or if you don't have a whole 10, do 5 here and 5 here. But get up and move your body. When you're doing that, it's going to increase your mental alertness. So if you're stuck on that project and you can't, oh, I'm just stuck. I don't see the way out. I don't know. I know it's right here in front of me. Get up, take a walk, move your body, let that blood flow go. And it's good for, there is not pretty many health issues that say, oh, don't walk, it's bad for you. No, if you're getting up walking, it's going to be good for you. Eating a proper diet. Oh, that's another hard one. But maybe not. Incorporate more fruits and vegetables in your diet. Kick out the processed food. Again, if you're sitting in your desk, maybe have some trail mix at your desk as opposed to that wonderful chocolate candy bar. Well, it's got nuts in it. It's chocolate covered peanuts. Try some trail mix. Try some carrots. They're naturally sweet. Try fruit. For a diabetic, this isn't a good idea because of the natural sugar in fruit. But if you're not diabetic, start with some fruit. You're getting the sugar high you need, but then begin to create with your doctor or a nutritionist. Okay, what's going to be best for me? I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to tell you how to change and what's the best proper diet for you personally. But I will tell you what you put in your body impacts your mental health as well as your physical health. Avoiding alcohol and drugs. A lot of people think of alcohol as, it's just going to mellow me out. Alcohol is actually a depressant. Yes, it is a depressant. And in the moment you feel a little better because, yeah, I'm just mellow. You just mellow, and later, the problem can seem worse. Drugs the same way. Both alcohol and drugs have a negative impact on your physical health. Too much alcohol, your liver will not be happy. So, yeah, something to avoid. And we talked about sleep. Adults are said to need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. You're like, I don't have 7 to 9 hours in the night, please. Some people take a nap during the day, and others are like, I wish. But getting enough sleep, and it's the quality of that sleep that you need to get. What about relaxation techniques? I think if time permitting, we're going to end with the relaxation exercise. But learning to relax can help you get more sleep. We do the deep breathing in the beginning of every show. When you can stop in the middle of the day, when you're just stressed out, take some deep breaths. Put more oxygen in your brain. Put more oxygen going through your body. Let your body have that USA moment. Practice just doing that. When those negative thoughts come your way, replace them. Sometimes with a positive. Sometimes we're like, if this happens, I don't know what I'm going to do. If this happens, you know what you can ask yourself in that moment? And if it doesn't, what's going to happen if I go to this meeting and they don't like my idea? Okay, what if that doesn't happen? What if you go to this meeting and they love your idea? And going into a situation with a positive mindset gives you a better opportunity for a positive outcome than because if you go in to a situation, well, I know I'm going to lose. I know it's not going to work out. Oh, you know what? You defeated yourself. So That's just that mindset of that. Even with your health, this medicine is not going to work. I don't know. Well, if you keep telling yourself, why are you taking the medicine? The last, as our time runs out, a few more yoga. Yoga is said to help anxiety, depression, and PTSD. I'm just going to give you a quick list as I look at the time. Cycling. Cycling is proven to help with schizophrenia because it helps keep the white matter in the brain healthy, allowing brain function to improve. Running. Running can help control the manic state a person may be in. So it's good with bipolar disorder, providing that calming effect and mood regulation. And boxing is known to help with stress and anger. Boxing releases those endorphins and boosts your brain mood. So those last few were just some specific things. So as we get ready to wind down and we're going to do a little relaxation and I'll give you my tips. Hopefully tonight you were able to grasp a little deeper understanding that physical health, mental health, they go together. They're not separate. You impact one, you impact the other. Like I say, it's just health. You are responsible for your own health. No one can do it for you. You know, if you're able to pick up the fork by yourself and eat, if you're able to cook, even, or even go get the food, you're responsible for it. Take control of your own mental health. It's for you. We're going to take a few minutes to do a 2 minute, 2 to 3 minute relaxation exercise. Today, we're going to do one where we're walking in the woods. So, if you're with me and if you don't mind, close your eyes. Take in a deep, deep, deep breath and slowly let it out. Take in another deep, deep, deep breath and slowly let it out. Imagine yourself walking through a beautiful forest, but not too many trees, just enough where you feel safe, you feel calm. There are no animals here to jump out at you. So you feel calm and you hear some water and you walk toward it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful little stream. And there's this big boulder sitting beside the stream. So you sit on it. The water is clear and beautiful. So you take off your shoes and you feel the water and it's nice and cool. And you take in a deep breath and you slowly let it out. And you notice your feet and your legs are so calm. And you take in another deep breath and you slowly let it out. And you notice that your stomach and chest are so calm. Ooh, you take in another deep breath as the cool water rushes over your feet. And you slowly let it out. And you notice that your hands and arms and shoulders totally, totally relaxed. You take in one more deep breath and you slowly let it out. And you notice that your head and every muscle in your head are totally relaxed. You feel good. You feel safe. You feel empowered. You know that you're in charge of your health, physical, mental, and spiritual. And you're ready to be in charge and take control to make it better today than it was yesterday. Sit here for a moment and hold on to that feeling of calm, at peace, and ready to take control of all areas of your health. I'm going to count backwards from 10 to 1. When I get to 1, you'll open your eyes, but you'll remember this feeling and you will take control of your physical, mental, and spiritual health. 10, 9, 8, 7. Take in a deep breath. Slowly let it out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully, tonight you have seen a little relationship between physical health and mental health, and it's something you will be able to work on to make your life better. I am Bronwyn Lucas, the Black Couch Therapist, here to help you become a better you. Check me out on Instagram during the week. Every day, Monday through Friday, I drop a positive thought somewhere in the middle of the day. I'll see you next week. Hopefully, we'll have our guest all here. But your final thought is your challenge for the week is to take care of your mental health. And I still say vote, 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 and be an educated voter in this season. Don't vote for a party. Don't vote for a person. Vote for who's doing what's right. See you next week. Bye, and have a great, great week.